The first thing that I'm trying to get to is trying to make a tanto. It's like a version of like a katana, but it's like very miniaturized. This is like the katana would probably be like this. The short sword would be about that long, and then the tanto is like
We rolling? Okay.
it's like a mini version. And these are my 4 attempts that I have done to create a tanto. And then that's not really a tanto, but I mean that was probably one of the more pleasing to my eye when I decided to stop. Now this one right here is made from an old file that I found. It was broken off, so I decided to grind the file markings off, and I tried to knock the corner in and then try to get that katana like tip. And I realized it wasn't really working for me, because then the tang of the file would keep on flopping around on me. It'd be very hard to straighten, so I decided scratch that. Okay, I searched on YouTube some more, and then they said the first thing that you do when you do a katana is like you gotta work on the tip. So I tried working on the tip, and then I realized, wait, you're supposed to preform everything first before you even do any of that. So then I decided, okay, start over again. And so from here, I started. They said you preform everything, and then you start with the back edge. You see how I got the little line right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You start with the back edge, and then you knock that in, and then you don't really. So they say you gotta. You know how you start off with a 45 cut on a piece of a 1/4x1 like this. And when you do, after you finish the preforming, you knock that tip down, so then it would be like that. And that would give you your spine of the blade, and then the rest from where that tip would be curved down would be the tip, and then the rest of the blade, and then the spine would be where the thickness would be at.
Okay.
And then from here, this is where I kind of not really. I don't feel like I'm happy with it yet, but I'm still not finished with it yet. So there's still a little room to work on. I didn't really. So yeah, as I went along, I did the preforming, and then I knocked the tip down, and then I started on the tip. They say you start at the tip, and then you bring the tip towards the shoulder. That's where you stop. And then as you go, then you start on the blade itself. And then that's the part where it's tricky, because then you have to keep the whole piece straight as you go along. So then like sometimes you'll go like this, right? You'll go and then you'll realize, oh wait, that piece is starting to go like this. So now you gotta flip it over again and try to straighten it out before you lose heat. And the most important thing too is you gotta keep an eye on the heat, because it's really hard to work a piece of steel when you lose heat. And then sometimes you'll like just keep thinking, oh yeah, no, it's still hot, you keep going. But like Mr. Reeves has been like during my time here, he's told me time and time again, like, he'll shout from across the room, it's like, Don, that's too cold. So then I'd have to like, oh man, I'd put this back in the forge. Sometimes, even though I've come here to learn how to make blades, the only time that I've actually really gotten a chance to like make any practice towards this is like when I'm at lunch. So it's like when I'm at lunch, I just like forget about trying to get something to eat and just go like, oh, I gotta hurry up and try to make something as soon as or try to progress as much as I can, before I get caught for trying to go past lunchtime, and then he'll go like, all right, Don, time to get back to work. So yeah, that's pretty much how the adventure's gone so far as the bladesmithing is going.
Oh, great. Now those will get put to a handle?
Yes, what I plan on doing with this one is, we haven't really done it yet, but he's said he's going to make this this Japanese scraper called a sen, and that kind of works like a draw knife. And what that does is the Japanese polishers, when they would receive the knife from the smith, they would go and, actually, no, I'm wrong. That's not the polishers. The bladesmith still has to do that. He has to make sure the geometry of the blade is like symmetrical. It's like perfect in symmetry. There's no you see how right here you'll see like, okay, right here you can see there's a clear defined secondary edge, right? And you can kind of see that there's almost like another blade,
Yeah.
like right there.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, flip it over on the other side, you don't really see it.
Ah.
And so then what you do with the send file is you help even out the geometry of the blade by getting rid of the excess material that's on there, so then it would look pretty much the same as the same side. And then what I plan to do after I get the blade straightened out is I have to narrow down the tang of the blade, so then I can put some holes in it. If I want to go about it that way, I'll put holes in it, and I'll take 2 pieces of wood, and then I'll just sandwich it together. I'll take some rivets, and then hot beat those in. And then that could be a simple hand. If I wanted to go about it with just as how the Japanese would with their tantos, is I would have to take like a piece of wood, and then I'd have to carve it like to the inside. I'd have to take 2 separate pieces, and then I'd have to go like this, and then scribe it down the wood, and then I'd have to hollow that out, and then glue those 2 pieces together, and then have like a hole in there to where I can put like a little bamboo pin that you see in katanas. I'd slide that on, and then slide the bamboo pin on there, and then I would do the leather after.
How many hours does that blade represent that you got right there?
This would probably be, well, this was done over the course of days with only a half hour's worth of time.
Yeah.
So I would guess 5-6 hours.
5-6 hours? Okay.
Yeah, but this is just like me going into it cold,
Yeah.
just like watching YouTube videos,
Yeah.
and then like using what I've learned from here to try and
What
put that
skills
together.
from here are helping you to achieve your dreams? Like, see how excited you get about this, and that's really cool. What are some of the things you're learning here?
How to move the steel when it's hot, and how to make sure everything is like straight and to the shape. And one of the most hardest things that I've had to learn was how to throw the hammer. There'd be a lot of times where he'd actually start me off was he'd go, okay, you take this piece of 2x4, you take a soapstone and you draw an X on there. It's like, now I want you to hit that X. I want you to be right in the middle, because if you can't hit the X on a piece of wood, if you go on an anvil and try to hit it, you're gonna hit my anvil. And getting an anvil is really, really hard. Like, you might be able to find some people around here that have an anvil, and like you can ask them for it. It's like, no, you ain't taking this anvil from me. So it's usually like you'd have to go really far to get it, or you'd have to pay you might have to pay a pretty penny.
So these swords you've learned from skills that you picked up here.
Yeah. And I've talked to Mr. Reeves about it a lot, and every time I think about it, I learn more and more, to the point where I've started to get to this point. And it was these that when I showed the other master in Oregon, that he was like, I think I can help you polish these up.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And on top of that, what's some of the other things that y'all build back there?
We like I said, we do gates and fences. We also do handrails, and we also do tables and vanities and stuff like the stuff you see right there. Yeah, and we also apply special finishes to it, like some of the ones that like if you've seen back there. There's like a curtain rod back. Oh yeah, we also do curtain rods too. There's a curtain rod back there that's made from 3/4 pipe that has a natural steel finish on it, and it looks very silvery in color, and it looks almost like stainless steel. And that table right there has like a bronzy gold finish to it, and we can also do dark black on it if you wish too.
Okay.
Besides working with metal and fire and hammers, have the craftsmen here taught you anything else? Something maybe a little bit more just about, general things in your life?
always be mindful about your surroundings and try not to get in anyone's way.
Those are good. Those are good. So, all right, we'll take a picture of this, and then when we go back there, you could show us that